Hi, this is Ilma Art Studios photograph for today. That is a fall color in Orangeville in one of the ponds there. Hi, check my website at ilmaars.com for more artworks and photographs. Today I'd like to share Luke 11 verse 8. It says, "If you keep knocking long enough, He will get up and give you whatever you need because of your shameless persistence." Here's my poem. Unashamed persistence. When you commit your life to God, you will surely want to walk in love. Do not give up. Always persist. God will answer your prayers and pleas. He values diligence and faithfulness. Continue to pursue and live in righteousness. Have an unashamed persistence to obey. Be bold and brave to follow His ways. Here's my essay. Persistence is defined as determination to do something even though it is difficult or other people oppose it. It is continuing to do something despite obstacles. In a certain town, there was a judge who neither feared God nor cared what people thought. And there was a widow in that town who kept coming to him with a plea. "Grant me justice against my adversary." For some time he refused, but finally he said to himself, "Even though I don't fear God or care what people think, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will see that she gets justice, so that she won't eventually come and attack me." This was the parable of the persistent widow in Luke 18 that Jesus told. Persistence can be a good thing if it is something true and right. It is pressing on and never giving up. We are urged to have shameless persistence. Prayer. Lord, grant me an attitude that persists and never gives up. Reflection. Share a shameless persistence that you have done in your life. I'd say I became an artist at age in my probably mid-30s. And I had no clue how to paint or draw or even do a straight line before that. But when I told myself that I really wanted to learn how to paint or to draw, I persisted and diligently painted or do an artwork 6 times a day. So you can imagine every day I did 6 works a day. By the time I sold my first work, which was probably 3 or 4 years later, and even though I didn't have money, I would get a cheap frame and put all my works and started putting them all in my house, and that house became a studio. And eventually, after 6 years, that was my school. I didn't go to school in the fine arts. My school was to persist, to shamelessly persist, to do a work at least a day or sometimes 6 works a day. So by the time I was having my first exhibit, I sold almost 70% of the works, even though I'm a no-name painter. I have no sponsors, nobody. I did it all on my own, but I'm sure God allowed me to have that, because nothing comes from our own but from God. So that was one of the shameless persistence I did in my life. And I remember the first few times I started to draw, and I was in a park and I was trying to draw the view of the bay, and people were watching behind me and they were laughing at me and saying like, "Oh my gosh, that ship looks like an iron," and so all that stuff. I didn't care. I persisted and persisted, and I diligently used that persistence so I could achieve what I aimed to do. So in a span of how many years of painting, I was able to sell about 400 works even at my lifetime. And so you can imagine how much work I have. And by the time I went to Canada, I had to stop because I don't know where to put my works anymore. I didn't sell it as much as I did back there. So I encourage you to be unashamed, persisting, especially when it comes to seeking God. Persist, knowing God. Persist, finding out the truth. Persist, living and obeying in His will. So thanks for watching. I hope you check my website at ilmaars.com for more artworks and photographs. You have yourself a wonderful day. God loves you so much, and so do I.